Good evening, Paul Lyons here again from paintings.nz, and this evening the painting is going to be of a tree. So the tree is contributing the major form to the painting, and the other major aspect of the painting, I guess, is going to be the texture, because there's various bits of foliage here and there which will have a variety of textures. At least I hope they'll end up having a variety of textures. And the two, I guess, are sort of playing off against each other. But the first thing to do is to lay in some sky, I think. So let's see if we can find a nice clean brush to do that with. This one was used most recently for water, so it should be fairly clean. Now, I don't want hugely brilliantly coloured sky, so I'll just wet the paper. The sky's going to go all the way down here. Wet the paper first, and then lay in some blue. A bit of a mistake there, shouldn't put that water just where I did, but never mind. It bleeds a bit into the tree. It probably doesn't matter a great deal. So this is the really exciting part of the painting, isn't it, when I'm waving a brush over the paper and nothing appears to be happening. Okay, so lifting it up and just seeing how it reflects the light. Finding places that have not been wet, although I imagined that I had passed the brush over everything. Okay, so now a bit of blue, not too heavy, but I want the brush to be quite wet because I don't want this to form texture in the sky. Alright, so we'll stop messing around with that, and I think we'll lay down some very yellow green foliage, and then at a later stage darken it. So this is not the colour that the foliage is going to end up, well, at least most of it's not, but there are some bits that are this colour. So up there in particular there's some bright bits, and there's some bright colouring down around here as well. up here the colouring is darker because we're looking at the undersides of leaves in this particular part of the tree. In fact, the sun is shining through there, but I'm going to leave that. It's a very photographic sort of effect to have the white overwhelming everything, as happens when you take a photograph against the sun. Okay, let's stop dealing with that particular sort of colour. And now a difficult thing, to try and tone that green down and yet still produce light paint. So let's do a bit of darkening up here. What I often do is to look for parts that seem to be slightly darker already. So if the appearance of the scene in my eventual painting is different from the appearance of the scene in the photograph that I am using as the basis for the painting, that's not necessarily because I'm an incompetent painter. It may simply be that there are shapes in the painting that seem to have worked, and I think, well, you know, I'll just emphasize that rather than trying slavishly to copy the original. The nice thing about the sort of splayed out brush is that you get a spotty texture to it, and if you add too much liquid to it, it just becomes solid areas. So I'll just leave that for a while, and maybe I'll go back down to here, bottom left hand corner of the painting, and add some more darkness to this bush. That's still a bit too wet up there to do very much with, and this is not quite as wet. And let's put in a fairly dark bush down the bottom here. Right, here we are back again with these areas more or less dry, and I think we need to darken up here a little bit more and try to take away the feeling of that being a solid area of paint. So I'm putting these dark spots on to put some texture there. I just want to avoid the edge of the tree there and still put stuff on the sky. So there we are. That's pretty much done what I wanted. And let's put some more dark there to hide the fact that I've got sky colour on the tree. I said that was going to be covered by foliage. And again, the texturing here is attempting to cover over the fact that this is a solid green colour, which is not very naturalistic. And do the same thing up there and there and down there. So that, I think, all works out reasonably well. And now I'll put some more middle colour green down here too, which looks pretty dark at the moment, doesn't it? Let us enlighten it. I'm not managing to get the sort of silvery green that I was hoping for down here, but oh well. Life is full of disappointments. The whole texture at the top isn't so bad at all, but I'm not really happy about the coloration down here, but I don't know quite what to do with it. I might try applying some yellow over the top. You can't lighten things with watercolour, but just occasionally yellow does seem to do something in that. Regard. Again, I want to stop the colour abruptly at the edge of the trunk of the tree, so that it's apparent that the bush goes behind the tree. There are various flavours of perspective used in painting. One of them is to make something go behind something else. You see that often in old-fashioned theatre sets, where they have flats that stick out from the wings and overlap each other, which is an amazing feeling of things disappearing into the distance. As I say, it's become an old-fashioned technique, but it works very well. Alright, stop doing foliage at this point. I think I might end up doing some more down at the bottom there, but just for the moment I feel that the tree needs some work on it. Now the question is, do I want to do a naturalistic tree, sort of grey-brown bark, or do I want to do something with credit cards, taking paint down, streaky paint coming down the tree, and I think I'm inclining a bit towards the credit card option. You can't incline a bit towards the credit card option, you've just got to do it. So we'll see how that's going to work against the paint that's already there. It may make a terrible mess. But, as I say, we'll see. Alright, here, as they say, goes nothing. Let's be bold. Well, that was easy, wasn't it? I think that's worked out to be rather a nice tree. Try and bring that dark down there. Try and bring some of that dark up there, so we get a dark underneath to that. Branch. This has gone out too far, but it's not too bad. So we'll put that up there and then take it away so that there's tree branch and foliage in the same area of the painting. Try and get rid of some of those little spotty bits of light colour. I think I might just leave that. And again, I want to bring that down there. Oh, I think probably we don't want to do too much more. So I was going to put some foliage down here at the bottom of the tree, but I seem to have obviated the necessity for that. There's a story about J.M.W. Turner, Joseph Mallord William Turner, and the painting of the picture called Rain, Steam, Speed, impressionistic painting of a train. And the story goes that this was exhibited at the Royal Academy, and somebody disparagingly said, oh well, of course it doesn't look like that. And a man piped up and said, well, I happened to be in the carriage when Turner was there, and he stuck his head out of the window and gazed at what he could see for quite a long time, and I was intrigued, so I stuck my head out the window and had a look too, and that's exactly what it looked like. So this is exactly what that tree looked like. It just looked exactly like that, with reds and blues and yellows on. Well, almost exactly like this. I'm going to call that done, I think. Just a little bit more foliage up there. Don't muck it up. Don't ruin it. God, you'll never learn. Alright. Well, that wasn't too bad, and it was quite a quick painting, in fact. It'll probably, well, it will definitely lose some intensity when it dries. All right, stop. And well, I'll put a photograph of the painting as the title of the video, so you can compare what you see now when I'm saying that I'm stopping with what you see on the video, and see whether or not I really have stopped. But I think I have, more or less, almost, nearly, in an hour or so. Good night. Good night.